Welcome back to DS Trucks. In today's video, we're going to be strobing out a 23 F350. This is going to be really cool. By the end of this video, these C-rings are going to be strobing, as well as the lights on the top, the clearance lights, and the tail lights. So this is going to be a really cool addition. One of the early 23s, maybe the first. I don't know if this has already been done, but this is all coming from Limitless Auto Works. Check out what you get. It's all plug and play for the most part, aside from the stuff that you'd have to tie into, like the you got to tie into a upfitter switch, obviously. So very minimum soldering, but no cutting to your harness. Plug and play, strobing of the headlights and the tail lights. Hey, Aaron, what else are we doing to this? Tail lights, headlights, clearance lights.
Cab lights, and we're going to do power folding running boards.
Okay, an amp running board. So that'll be cool. We'll show that as well. There's definitely some tricks to taking off the running boards. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this truck taken apart, and I'll show you guys how it's done. So I'm going to be tasked with removing the wheel well liners. I guess I'll show you guys that, at least on one side. Pretty much the same process. I'll do the driver's side here, because I do believe that's the harder side to do with all the extra pins that are here. All these pins, you end up having to push these up so that you can remove the liner, and you want to put all these pins back into their locations because they are important. They hold the wiring in place. So to get this out, you have, again, all the pins. You have a fastener here. You have a fastener right here. If the light would work, cooperate. There's a fastener here. And you have these small little fasteners, and the size for those is 5.5. So this is in reverse. Pop these out. And there you go. So I'm going to pop all those out. Then I'm going to push all these up and take all these fasteners off. Push pin here. And this is with no plastic liner. So another thing, the mud flap can stay on, but the fasteners go through it. A thing to note is you want to be taking these wheel liners apart nicely and not tearing them up. You got to be able to work with them without causing damage to them. So I'm going to go ahead and get these removed, and I'll pop in once these fasteners are removed. All right, so I've got my fasteners off, and there is this one here. You can use a trim tool just to pull it, or you can spin it, and that's what I'm doing in this particular case. Instead of grabbing the push pin tool, I'm just spinning it. Although I do need the push pin tool anyway, because there is at least one push pin. I believe it's right there. So let me grab that push pin tool. All right, so the push pin's right here. Want to try to pull this out without damaging it, because I want it to go back into the hole nicely. So you can get behind the whole thing here and try to pull it nicely out. Oh, there she goes. So I think I've gotten all the fasteners out of here, and I've just got the, let's see here, these push pins like we talked about going through, and you can just push these up and they'll stay in their spots. Now it's good to note how many there are. You don't want to be freaking tearing this stuff up. So this one wants to slide around. I got 1, 2, and I just got to think about how it's orientated so that I can get it all put back together correctly. But yeah, just a matter of taking these and pushing them up so that our fender liner can come down. All right, you get the gist of it. I'm gonna use 2 hands. All right, so I'm working this fender liner off. I got this side kind of popped out a little bit, and let's go ahead and work this out of here to show you guys how that kind of looks. All right, so what I like to do is I like to pull this down and back into this area a little bit more, toward the shock or spring tower. And this stuff's kind of pliable, so just folding it a little bit, working it loose, and then boom, there you go. It drops right down. Now we're in the guts of the truck, and you can see what this fender liner is protecting and why a lot of people ultimately end up with a plastic liner, because there's a lot of components right here in this area. This is actually not a bad place to hide maybe something. If you want to hide it there, maybe a GPS tracker, maybe, I don't know. Well, we might be putting a module on this side, it may go on the other side, but yeah, like there's a little spot here, there's a little cavity right here. You could put something if you needed to put something there, doing some kind of upfitting or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and get the other side off, and we will show you the rear and what's going on back there as well. All right, so we're gonna be going ahead and taking apart the interior so that we can get to our pass-through wires here. So let's go ahead and take out the floor mat, get it out. And we need both A-pillars. So to get this interior apart, there's a little door here. Pull that, pull this. Nicely, you don't want to break nothing. Okay, with that out, now we can take our weather strip up a little because the weather stripping is covering this panel here, and then you have this part right here to pull up. And you want to be careful here because this can break if you're not careful. Right in that corner, there's a little pin, I believe, right there. Get this free, like that. Oh, it's behind this on this truck, a little different. So it's behind this tab. So this panel here is kind of covering, wow. This panel has to come off too on this truck. This is kind of new to me. So that out of the way, that's enough so that we can get in there. Now requiring two hands, straight back. Yeah. Woo. So yeah, no casualties. All right, so these are, I believe, 10 millis. So once you get that off, the weather stripping, usually that's not on the truck when these grab handles get installed. So I guess we'll pull it out the way. Don't know if that's a necessity. Oh, there she goes. And then we have our feet to pull up, and we have our single plug. Wire's a little shorter. That's it, grab handle out. Well, check it out. Headlights are strobing. Looks freaking sweet. I didn't get to show as much as I wanted to, but don't worry, there'll be more of these coming down the road. But nonetheless, I can give you a quick overview. We kind of were in a time crunch, so I just had to hurry up and get this done. But looking under the hood, not a whole lot to see because this is limitless and everything's kind of hidden. So underneath the wheel wells, this is getting secured. This is where the modules live for the headlights. Everything's plug and play, no cutting to the truck whatsoever. Then you pop over to the rear and you can see everything strobing back here as far as the reverse lights. The stop lamps are not LED, so they're not strobing. But oddly enough, The license plate lights are strobing, but they are incandescent. So we're going to be switching these to LED. We got the dually light strobing as well. And this is not a dually, but it has a dually light. And you can pick that up from Limitless. Now, popping underneath the truck, the spare tire, is it up yet? Nope, spare tire's still down, so we can take a look at the rear at least. There is our Limitless harness for the rear. That's our single connection. We're still going to be changing the patterns and everything. That's what this is for. But the single connection is ran right there. And we actually just fished this wire into the body of the truck. So it just kind of disappears in here and goes in through. And we use a fishing wire to run it through the frame of the truck. But everything from Limitless, they give you a ground strap to just tap into the factory ground back here. I didn't hook this one up, so I don't know which one they use. Oh, it's right there. So you literally can't tell that everything's so OEM that you can't tell it's really hooked up, but there is your connection for ground. There's your Limitless modules, reverse and dual rear wheel tail. And yeah, single connection there. All in all, pretty good setup. But anyway, guys, I gotta go. We gotta get out of here. My name is Sean. This is DS Trucks. See you in the next one. Over and out.